Start! Start!
So I've really been enjoying using HTMX and Tailwind to build websites. Pretty much all my side projects I use HTMX and Tailwind. Mostly because I'm mostly think as a backend developer, and HTMX allows me to build reactive UIs without needing to use React, and Tailwind allows me to build nice looking UIs without needing to think too hard, especially when I use.
Okay, I'm already loving this. That was fantastic. That was absolutely, the guy nailed it. The guy nailed it so good right there. Just came in hot, came in ready, he just juiced. The man was juiced. Here's the deal. I want to build reactive UIs and I don't want to use React. Got him. I'm not good at styling. I use Tailwind. Got him. Right? Like, that's great. This is great. We'll go 1.25.
Tailwind components. And as an example of HTMX, I've built this dummy project where obviously this isn't a full render every time, so we're just using HTMX to re-render this bit, and then the UI is done using Tailwind UI. So this is pretty much as simple as it can get. But my problem with Tailwind and HTMX SSR stack is that people tend to prefer using Golang for it for some reason, and I just really don't enjoy the templating in Golang.
I've been called out. I've literally, the shots have, okay, hey, first off, I love that you have an opinion. Okay, can we just be real for a second? Can we actually have it? Can we finally have some dev that has an actual just fucking opinion for once? Is this not just so annoying that every dev has to preface everything they say with 900 if statements just to make sure that everyone's feel good? This guy just comes out right away and be like, you know, a lot of people have been liking Go. I think it's a bad idea. Love it. Love it. I love it. He is using a Mac, instantly judged, probably uses VS Code, but you know what? We're gonna forgive him for that. Last mouse, dude, attacking the Church of Go. I know. And now the Church of Go will nicely send their zealots after him, and perhaps he will find himself waking up to some friends in his house that love Go. Okay?
So I want to make the case as to why maybe for your next project you should consider using Kotlin paired with HTMX and Tailwind to get a really nice reactive, clean UI. But before
Here, hold on. I'll try to turn it up a little bit. It's kind of hard because now I'm going to start getting into that weird peaking, you know, because I'm already at 100%. I'm already at 100%. I can't really go any higher. I'm sorry. This is as fast as we're going to go. I'm not going to go any higher.
I get into the demo, I just want to share some things about Kotlin because I know it's not a very common language, but there's lots to like about it. So I've got a basic hello world running. There's 3 features that I want to show off of Kotlin. The first one is that the string templating by default is very nice. So if I do say that, I can do that and that works just as is. I guess it's kind of like JavaScript, but I don't have to use weird brackets. I don't have to do sprintf or anything like that. I can even put things there and just make it a bit more complicated. Save this, for example. I can make it go to uppercase. So that's feature 1.
Okay,
which is not
feature
that
1.
impressive.
Okay, basic string interpolation. I mean, Python has that, right? Okay, Go. I don't think Go has any version of this other than of what is it? Format, sprintf. Yeah, I mean, I get it. These are more convenient. Sprintf is is not as convenient as this. I can totally get it. You can have raw strings though. Okay, calm down, buddy. Come in here. We're not raw dogging strings right now. Okay. Using double quotes is nice.
The next feature is a little bit better. Usually when you define a class, you define functions inside it like this.
Yeah.
Which is fine and all, but it's kind of mixing data and functions, which is not great. So Kotlin.
I like mixing data and functions. Okay, so you're emotionally trying to bruise me. Okay, I like data. I like methods. I like methods. I think they're superior for the LSP development lifestyle.
It has this nice feature where you can declare functions on existing objects like this. To say I want to add a function to square, which returns an integer. And then I can use this to access whatever's here. And these are called extension functions. So I can add it to my custom classes, or I can add it to existing classes. So what I can do here is I could do 2.square, and this will print 4.
No, I understand Rust can do this. You just have to, you just literally have to do a lot more to make it happen, okay? You have to do a lot more to make this happen. He's just giving. Okay, so how's this related to HTMX? He's giving you some. He's giving you a little. Dude, this is the foreplay to the actual problem. So he's giving you some things that are going on. Honestly, fuck extension methods. I love traits. I love the ability to extend things that already exist. It's really, really, really good. Okay. So what is this times this? Well, this is the thing that it points to. This would be an integer. It's a function on an integer.
The second feature I want to show are trailing lambdas. So usually you can create a function.
Trailing lambdas.
And this is super common in many languages. I'll just add a prefix to make it obvious. And then I want to make it take a function, which returns a string. And
okay.
And what I'll do is I'll print the prefix and then the result of the function.
Okay.
And that's all fine. But what Kotlin lets you do is when you have this at the end,
Hold on, let him cook.
it lets you do this cool syntax where instead of doing it how you normally would and doing it in here, so you do that in here, which is a function that returns 1, whatever. What I can do is move it out. So now this is out here, and I can also just omit the return. This is valuable because when you mix both the extension functions and the trailing lambdas, you can do some really cool system where you basically build your own domain-specific language. So I have an example here, which is Vacator, which is the standard web server for Kotlin.
I'm not super into domain-specific languages, but this route thing does look really cool. Okay. I'm lost. So this route is a function that has a path prefix. Then it has that trailing lambda. The last argument is a lambda. And so therefore they're literally just route components. And then this is like a function. Usually DSLs suck. I've literally never programmed Kotlin. And come on, catch up, boys. Okay, catch up. All right. I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's kind of cool. Trailing lambda is love. I think I kind of like it. Okay. Catch up!
Pretty much does this. So you have an application.module, which is an extension function that you use. And then inside this, you have some of these that let you define the routes just like this.
Okay, so routing must be a function that is just a trailing lambda. Is that what's happening here? Is routing just that? See, this is the one thing I didn't get because I saw that right away and I saw that routing does not have parentheses. And so I couldn't tell if it's being called as a function and then that. Okay, yes, it is. Okay, so if it does not have any arguments, then you can just call it as is and it does this whole routing genius stuff.
Super useful and super clean, but it's not magic either. Like I know how these works. I can write these. And at work we often do. We write for testing, we write our custom little DSLs so that we can set up the scenarios exactly how we want in unit test in a declarative way. And that's basically what this does. It lets you create declarative code inside an imperative language, which is super useful. And for this, for example, where this isn't very imperative, I'm just trying to define routes for each of these. But where this gets taken one step further is that now...
I do feel like this is pretty cool. So far, I really do like this. Okay, we're about to get wild, aren't we? We're about to get wild, aren't we? We're about to get a little bit. This is where it's going. We let Tim cook, and I think an iPhone might have just come out. We're not sure what's about to happen here. I think we got something good. This is looking sweet.
You don't have to use XML to write HTML. You can use this thing with types checking and autocomplete and all the variables. Like I'm here, this is my HTML, but I can just define a variable or everything. And my classes are just sets. It makes HTML not XML, which is so nice. Because even React JSX is still XML. I don't want to be writing XML. I don't want to be touching magic. I want to use just the core mechanics of the language in order to create something that renders how I want.
Damn. I don't know. Okay, first off, okay, hold on. This right here, stop with this, okay? Nobody uses React without JSX. Okay, I've never seen somebody literally react.create element and then properly call that function, whatever the arguments are, with it, okay? Nobody does that. That just cannot be an argument. We cannot have that as an argument because it's not a real argument. Okay, it's not a real argument, but that's what he wants. No, well, I mean, but this is way more convenient. Like, I totally see what's going on here. Like, this is actually very easy to read. This is very compelling. Soshin did it? Well, yeah. Soshin also wrote a server in this is not easy to read? Okay, whoa. No, it's not. What is not easy? Okay, Pam, you got to hit me with this. What's not easy to read, Pam? Pam? What's not easy to read about that? Wait, hold on. You're worried about a couple of those? Pam. Okay, Pam. What's the alternative? What is the alternative, Pam? Because this is what you get. This is the alternative, Pam. Pam? Because what I see right here that I think is really nice. Pam, did Pam leave? Pam lost it. Pam was like, here, Pam, I'm gonna put you right here so I don't miss you. Okay, I got you right here. So when you're ready to respond, I will catch it. Okay, I'm gonna catch it. Don't you worry. We're gonna catch it for whatever reason. This apparently is the world's worst interface. Okay, that not a couple, a couple hundred. XML or HTML. HTML is better. Is it? How is it better though? Okay, so I guess your argument would be this. Okay, so let me try to reason about your argument before I lose it. But right now, what I think I hear you saying is that when you look at this right here, you cannot immediately tell what is it closing. Is that correct? So due to the fact that it's a parenthesis as opposed to a slash, closey, header, slash, that is where the confusion comes in. Okay, I can understand that argument. The downside of intelligent DSLs is that you lose any of the other HTML tooling like LSPs and coloring. Fair, sort of fair, sort of. Maybe. I don't know if that's true with this, right? Like, I don't know how Kotlin works. Kotlin is, obviously, it could have a great API for returning stuff, so I don't know if that's true. This right here, I don't know. For some odd reason, I could, again, we're looking at a pretty small amount of stuff right here, okay? We're looking at a pretty small amount of stuff right here, and what I see is very readable. I would say that this is no less or no more readable than JSX by any stretch of the imagination. This is very sus. You think it's very sus? I don't know. I really like it. I'd have to use it. I guess my small time in OCaml slightly changed me a little bit, and this feels easier to read, if that makes sense. JSX is not readable. Yes, if you've ever done anything with larger JSX, it gets really unreasonable really, really quickly. It gets super, super difficult. So it's harder to visually parse because years of web dev conditioned me for parsing. Okay, fair, but that can be broken, right? You never want to optimize just because that's the way things have been done. Like, genuinely, the best thing you can do for your career and for your life is to never let what feels good and comfortable continue just to be the thing you do because it feels good and comfortable. You should always be willing to try other things. I don't know. To me, this is super cool, and I would love to, honestly, I'd love to play around with it. The thing I don't like about it is that I don't want to have to derive all these things. Right? I wouldn't want to write all of this. And so if there's a sweet-ass library that can just do it and has all the H1s and divs and headers and everything for me, that could be cool. How do you define, can I do custom elements? Very curious, right? If I can do custom elements, yeah, maybe that'd be pretty exciting. There probably is. I would hope there is, because I assume they just have to fulfill a contract, that they just have to return some sort of interface, whatever they call them in Kotlin. Like, it just has to fulfill some sort of data shape, and we're good to go. You can 100% do custom elements. The div is just an interface with extensions. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. This actually looks pretty cool.
So here's an example.
I don't know. I actually kind of love this. I think I could get into it. I think I could get into it pretty deeply.
Of the dashboard. As you can see, I'm just creating these and then adding text. It looks a bit daunting at first, but it's so much easier to abstract because I can take it one step further, and here I've created my own extension function, which means that I can basically create my own HTML components inside of this system, and I can pass parameters in here if I want to.
Oh, yeah, he has all these little events, calendar, all this kind of stuff.
And then here for the index, I pass in here, and then I use the dashboard here. And just pass it in like a normal HTML component because I created just like these were. and I can copy this if I want to. I can do the exact same thing, which is super powerful. And then here, this one's a bit more complicated. So the nav bar, I pass it all the tabs that I want, and then here I can just do a for each.
By the way, this just looks like standard HTML. By the way, I mean, you're not getting. I mean, this is just div soup, boys. We got div soup. Do you like Temple more? Temple is really good. Yeah, Temple is really, really good. And so it's hard to say, like, the problem. Okay, so I always come to the same thing, and I've said this kind of a few times now, which is the complexity of expression in a language allows you to build really incredible abstractions, which allow you to spend a lot of time building incredible abstractions, which can be super convenient and look like this and super clean and nice and seems really, really nice. But at the end of the day, the one thing I worry about is that sometimes you spend all this time building the abstractions themselves for this really clean version of programming, but you end up not even using most of the abstractions you create because that is like product development. You end up spending all this time in the act of building something, not in actually making something functional and good. And so I always have this problem right here, which is it's the same problem with Rust. Rust, I spend all this time creating the thing to create the thing. Whereas Go just says, you know what? We're not going to allow that. You can't spend your time creating the thing to create the thing. It's just not there. It's just not an option. And so it just feels very, very, very easy to not fall into this trap of ever trying to create a nicer way to create things. It's like this derivative development that happens. And that would be my worry about using something like Kotlin, is that I do a lot of derivative development. But I like creating things. Yeah, I know. That's the problem, is I would do a lot of that. I thought the goal was type masturbation. This is a long session. This guy has been edging for what appears to be months.
And map these to
this man needs to call the doctor immediately.
Component and render what I want. And this is a super powerful way to use HTMX and Tailwind. Because the templating is really nice, and the templating is just for language. I don't have to add any weird dependencies. I don't have to cross-compile. I don't have to do some string templating thing. I can move these to another file if I want.
I do like that too. Like, I think all the arguments he's making are actually really sophisticated and really well done. And I think that if you're missing any of the arguments he's making, you're just a damn fool. You've been using JavaScript for too long that you think that is the only way to do things. There is something that's really nice about, like, a dependency-free development experience is incredible. It really truly is. Like, the less dependencies you can have, the less steps you need to get to the end point, is like it's absolutely such a joy to work with. And so it's like when you can just have, I am using a language, and just the language itself I have built to make the thing, it just feels so good. But NPM dependencies are free. They may be free, but they do have so much interaction with how you do your building, right? TypeScript, the compiler, is free. TSC is free on YouTube. But guess what? You still have to go through all of the things that allow you to even use TypeScript. And so that's kind of what that's what I'm seeing right now, is that you can have a dependency-free, really nicely abstract, like if someone were to make a really concrete, really well thought through library with all of this kind of here and a way to specify it, but then you never need to cross-compile, you just do this, that could be pretty cool. A Vite starter template, though. Yeah, you know what the problem about Vite starter template is? That you stop being a starter project. Dog. You start being a real project that needs to get real things done. And you start realizing that you need to trade things out due to constraints or changes within your environment. You go from one person programming to 100 people programming. Well, guess what happens? Your little Vite pre-config thing becomes a team. It becomes the build team. There's a team that literally goes and makes sure that your JavaScript, an interpreted language, gets compiled into a more interpretable version of JavaScript, and there is multiple people working on this one singular thing, okay? You have to admit that there's some level of crazy to that entire experience.
Or I can leave them in this one. I can override these. I can create my own ones. I can say I want to create enums for Tailwind classes, or create abstractions and basically create a normal CSS file using Tailwind classes. I can do all that because it's just the language without any extra stuff. And that's what makes this my preferred way of doing things like that.
Absolutely thought that was amazing. I'm giving that the thumbs up. This was actually a really, really, this was really good. This was really good. Levi, that was really great. People, go give Levi a follow. That was really, 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 really awesome. Levi, freaking awesome. I just want to let you know. Oh my goodness, I am Levi's first subscriber. I am Levi's first subscriber. Let's go. Gosh, I'm number one. The man's number one. That feels pretty cool. That was great, honestly. This was great. I thought this was really, really well done. Hey, get the guy up to like 100 subs if we can, okay? If you like what he was doing, I hope that he builds more because this was actually a really good video. This was actually one of the best, honestly, this was one of the best tech videos I've seen in an incredibly long time. It was so to the point, and he gave a really great foreplay, and then it just became the thing. It was so good. It was so good. And he showed you all this stuff beforehand so you could really follow along because I didn't know anything about Kotlin. I'm not a great Kotlineer. And so it was very, very good. I loved it. I loved it. It was great. I love it. I love the foreplay.